Well, good day there, and welcome to the last of our series that we're going to talk about setting goals for the year. And I appreciate you joining me and working through some of these things to help you lead a more visionary and purposeful life. Now, if you're anything like me, you may go through your life spending your time and your assets in ways that really don't add up to a whole lot. And so we want to talk about ways that we can be more intentional about living our lives. And so I want to introduce you to the one-page personal plan available at gazelles.com, Vern Harnish's website. Great tools there, and I'll leave a link for you at the end of this. So you're looking at this page and you look over here on the left-hand side, you see it says faith, family, friends, fitness, and finance. And those are generally the way that people prioritize things at the end of their life. Now, it's not that things at the bottom not important, but really at the end of your life, you're probably not going to be pining away for your sleigh rosebud or for all of the assets in your bank account to be piled up around you. As Matt Damon's character so poignantly points out in the movie Interstellar, you're going to want friends and family. Those are the last things that you want to see as you slip away. So these are things to be thinking about. Who are the people? If you look up in the first column, it says relationships, 10 to 25 years. Who are the people that are the key groups of people you want to spend time and making a lasting, vibrant relationship with? So think about, obviously your family is going to be the closest one, but, who are the significant key work relationships or the friends in your life, perhaps people in your faith community, things of that nature, the people with whom you're going to spend the next 10 to 25 years. You might even consider some of those that work for you as people to make investments in. The next stage down, you go to the 1 year activities. What are the things that you need to do in the next 12 months, key relationships you might need to focus on? Perhaps there's a child that hasn't been getting the attention they need from you, or a friendship that's gone by the wayside, your spouse, whomever. Now, underneath here, you have start and stop, and think about the relationships you've been meaning to form. Perhaps it's a new group or club that you want to join, like a Toastmasters club or a book club, or maybe a new colleague that works in your building that you haven't gotten to meet yet, but you really should. Also consider the relationships that might be distractive or destructive, and you need to bring those to a gracious end. People that tend to not feed you in positive ways. Now, there's always going to be people in your life that challenge you. I'm not saying that you end all those relationships, but there may be people that you just say, this is no longer a productive relationship for me, and you need to find a gracious way to step out. So make a plan for the next 90 days for those start-stop relationships. The next column you see here is achievements. It's the same exercise, really. Actually, if you've worked your way through the one-page vision plan I covered over the last 2 podcasts, this should be relatively easy. Your 10 to 25 year aspiration and achievements is your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal. And then, of course, the 1 year activities, quarterly starts and stops. And don't just think business here. Think maybe about your personal life in terms of achievements. Maybe your 10 to 25 year aspiration is to have a stellar marriage that you can point to. And that's going to take some actual activities that you need to plan for. By the way, Jim Collins has a classic article I just read called Best New Year's Resolution, a Stop Doing List. And he shares a particularly compelling illustration of the Kimberly-Clark CEO, which produces Kleenex, and how he made a tough decision to stop doing something in order to focus on the next phase of the business development. So I'll leave a link for you to read that if you're interested. The next column is rituals. These are the things that really drive your character because you do them routinely, what you do each and every day, week, month, year. Could be your practice of prayer or meditation in the morning, your yoga, your reading, your exercise, your weekly date with your spouse or worship, your monthly family gathering or annual reunion or retreats or hunting trips, whatever that is. What are the things that support your big relationship and achievement goals up in the upper left-hand corner? And you need to build these as rocks into your schedule. They never move. And what are the rocks or even pebbles that you need to pull out of your shoe as you think about going down the column? You need to start some things and you need to stop some things. Those are some important things to consider for you. Finally, the wealth column. Really important here not to set up wealth as an end to itself. You don't just write a dollar figure here. The idea here is how will you use the wealth that you can generate through your profession to support the grander vision for your life? And those are going to be, again, things up in the upper left-hand corner. Sure, you need to save for your retirement and for your kids' college fund, but how much money do you really need to live life with? Not so extravagantly, but simply. I believe a huge amount of stress that we can take upon ourselves is to think about having how to guard our assets rather than how to use our assets to accomplish our visionary life and community impacting goals. So consider in the 10 to 25-year range, maybe what humanitarian causes you want to really invest in year after year so that those organizations can count on you. And possibly in the next 90 days, there may be some things that are wealth producing that you need to start doing and things that you need to stop doing that are cash draining. Now, I know that that's a huge amount of work to do that. That's not just a simple thing just to sit down and come up with things. Maybe your first goal actually is to set a schedule for you, and maybe if you have a partner, to go away and spend some time over a weekend to do this on your own and together as a couple to make sure that you guys are on the same page together. Because two oxen plowing in the same direction can produce a huge amount when they're on the same track. So, hope that's helpful to you. Look for the links at the end of this. And thanks again for joining me. Really great to have you listening, and we'll see you next time.